Hey, what is going on, everybody? Ali Madawi here, and welcome to my business page. If this is your very first time hopping on, I'd like to give you a shout out and give you the credit when credit is due. You are amazing, fantastic, and phenomenal for giving me the opportunity to share some great information with you that I know for a fact will be absolutely 100% valuable to you and whatever it is that you're doing in your business. So let's talk about training, business development, and a whole lot. I've been privileged enough to have some incredible mentors, people that I've worked with that have taught me, educated me, showed me the ropes on so many different things that I just never thought I would be able to create on my own. But yesterday specifically, I took a 3-hour training class course of a global institute called Six Sigma Management Institute. Now, I know many of you have heard about the company. They've been around for 20 plus years. They've done a whole lot. They're named in movies. They're just incredible in so many different levels. And the reason I'm giving them the credit is I'm privileged enough that I have had the opportunity to actually partner up with them and create something great for the masses in terms of having something as a disruptive process itself. But then I went and I got the training itself, and I only got the first 3 out of, I believe, 12 hours or so of the first part of the process itself. And boy, I thought I knew what I was talking about. Man, there's a lot for me to learn. But let me tell you why, and to put it in perspective, I've been building businesses for the last 10 years. I've been privileged and blessed to expand my network in 15 different countries. I sold books. I've done just a whole lot for myself, for my family. My wife and I are full-time stay-at-home moms and dads because of everything we've done. But when I say it took my knowledge within 3 hours to a whole new level that I never understood before, and one of the biggest takeaways or biggest aha was understanding the process from a philosophy standpoint instead of an operational standpoint. Everything I've ever done before was always how-tos, and a little bit of mindset, right? But I was taught the mindset of the how-tos, if that could even put it into perspective. And, I took a lot of notes, obviously, but I want to be able to just kind of put things in perspective. I learned yesterday from a business, and for those of you who are entrepreneurs, who are in business, drop a number 1 if you are an entrepreneur, because I want to know if I'm speaking to the right individual right about now. And please do me a favor, share this video, because there are many people who may be struggling business-wise, and this information is complimentary to you, and just for sharing it, you get to look like a superhero. So I learned about business management from an operational standpoint in 3 hours. I learned about loss prevention, meaning how to minimize money loss. And the crazy thing is that businesses on average, traditional businesses, corporations even, they have 10 to 20% of their cash flow is an automatic assumed loss, meaning bad processes, bad promotions, bad marketing, or whatever the case may be, automatically. So I was taught how to actually reduce that. How to strategize and have the right strategy for your business, for your field, for your audience, for your employees, for your customers, and so on and so forth. And last but not least, the betterment of an individual, meaning how can you make your team better individuals, from personal growth, business development, and a whole lot more. And again, within 3 hours, I was mind blown, right? Like that event that we want to have. And one of the things that was talked about is to understand what does one person look forward to, whether you are on the entrepreneur side of the table or whether you are on the client's, customer's, purchaser, whatever term that you want to use, side of the table. And it was one term of exchange value. See, you, the business owner, you, the entrepreneur, you're looking forward to having the proper value out of that client, meaning whether it's monetary exchange, whether it's being efficient with your time, whether it's just making your business overall better, more exciting, more fruitful, more whatever that more that you're looking for, right? That's what you're looking for from that client, right? But the client is also looking for value. That's how we buy things, right? Do I see value? Do I see not? But The challenge is most people look at just the monetary exchange of a value. What am I getting for X amount of money, and what am I giving for X amount of money? But what we don't tend to understand is that there are other values that individuals use as a scale that we might not be seeing. I'll give you an example. Let's say you are in a network marketing company, right? Let's just go with that example, just for the sake of example. And you're like, hey, if you get involved with me, you're going to get this product, and I'm going to give you this for free, and I'm going to give you that for free. And let's say it's a health and wellness product, right? All for free. If I'm not passionate about health and wellness, right? If I'm okay with the lifestyle that I have, it doesn't matter how much of free stuff you're going to give me. That's not something that I value. Or you may say, hey, if you get involved, I, automatically will include you in a trip that we're going to have to go to, I don't know, Vegas or Curacao, right? Somewhere in the Caribbean. If I'm not passionate about flying or traveling, that's not something I value. So while it is exciting for you, the entrepreneur, the provider, it is not exciting for me, the receiver. And that's something that I never understood before. I'm like, my God, I'm giving all this stuff. I'm helping, I'm teaching, I'm educating, I'm giving, and they still don't see value. And I realized they don't value what I see as exciting. They look at it as not something that I need, right? So definitely the value exchange has to be crystal clear, right? You got to understand what you're giving versus what you're receiving. And then your client, you have to identify what do they value too, so you can eliminate wasting time with the wrong individuals. I also learned on how to actually scale a business, right? How is your business really doing? How can you 1,800 times better your business? And I say 1,800 specifically for a reason. So it's extremely important to understand how to scale your business, and then obviously, and more importantly, the mindset and the philosophy of building a business is just as important and as crucial. And I'm going to share with you a couple of methodologies of how I was taught to do it yesterday, which again, mind absolutely blown, although I thought that I knew it. So you gotta first of all identify the state that you want to be in, right? Whether it's more money, whether it's more cash flow to expand, whether it's more employees, whether it's more inventory, more clients, what is the state that you want to be in, right? So that's from a business standpoint. Identify that, right? It's like begin with the end in mind. Identify the state, that the ultimate goal that you want to be in. Then identify your metric. How are you measuring this state that you're getting to? Is it by customer satisfaction? Is it by revenue? Is it by percentage increase? Is it what is the metrics that we're going to utilize to identify the growth towards that state that we want to be in? And then we're going to assign a project, right? Someone that is, or a process that is uniquely created or positioned just for that specific estate that we talked about, right? To create that growth of the metric that we're talking about. So you have state, you have metric, and now we have project. And then from there, we're going to look at phases, right? What phases are we going to break down that project into? Like phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and phase 4, right? It could be quarterly growth, it could be monthly, it could be weekly. So you got to identify those phases, right? This is again from a business side of things. And then you got to think about the variable, right? What are the different variables that are going to impact those phases? Let's say you're in energy, right? When it's colder, energy prices tend to take a little bit of a drop. When it's hotter, energy tend to go up a little bit. So is that variable in place? We got to identify that and put it in place too, to make sure we know what we're talking about and we can project better. And last but not least is the setting itself, meaning where are we actually working on? Where are we, what tools are we using? Who are we using them with? How much time are we putting them? So you got to identify the setting. So once you come up with that line, exactly like I dropped it down for you, right? State, metric, project, phases, variable, and setting, what ends up happening is flip it. Now start with the setting. And then as you finish all the settings that you have, then you go down to the variables and identify, okay, here's the variables that we have to phase, and then you're going to adjust for it. And then you're going to say, okay, Now we're just gonna focus on phase one, which is the first quarter. And then, hey, on this phase one, this is the person or the position that we're going to dedicate just to create that phase one until we get to phase 2, 3, and 4, and so on and so forth. And then that person or the position that you're gonna create, or the process or the system for that project, that phase one that we just talked about, you're going to say, here is what we're looking for as far as growth. Here is how we're going to measure that we are heading to the right direction, and therefore ultimately it'll get you to the state. So it's a mindset of begin with the end in mind. You identify where you want to be, how, when, where, who, what, and then you flip it and you start from step one. I love that, because even Steve Jobs says there is no way to identify programming unless you go backwards. Like, so you have to say, here is the end of the program, how I want it to look, and here's what and they build it backwards. Same exact concept, but now you really are putting it into life, right? So if you look at that, that was the business side of things. Now, what if we were to look at it from a personal side of things, right? And this is what, again, blew my mind, and I can't wait to share it with my students, with the people that I've been working with. You know, I consider myself knowledgeable enough in 5 languages that I've educated 40,000 people in my career, and I've done a whole lot of greatness, but this just took things to a whole new level, and I really cannot wait for everybody to be exposed to these courses. So the next thing is we'll take the same philosophy, the same methodology, and let's use it on a personal level, right? Like, what if you want to lose weight? What if you want to make your marriage better? What if you want to make your finances better? What if you don't even want to get involved in a business? You just want to use it for a personal goal, right? What if you want to be an actor? What if you want to be whatever it is that you want to be, right? So let's use that same exact thing. But instead of state, we're going to start with dream. What is your dream? Like, what is that big end goal that you want to establish? And make sure you write it down. Next is, what do you value in life towards that dream, right? Like, it may be time. It may be money, it may be a sense of security. It doesn't normally have to be just materialistic things. It could be anything. So identify what you value, because that's going to tell you what you're going to be sacrificing or focusing into, right? After that, what's the catalyst? Like what is that thing that's going to get us there, right? What's going to carry us there? Is it online, offline business, whatever it is that you are identifying for yourself? And then milestones. That's going to be the next step, right? What would be a breakthrough, a milestone moment that's going to make you realize, oh my God, if this one thing happens, that is a sign for me that I'm on the right track. And write that milestone down. And then the forces that's going to get you there, right? Like, what's going to actually help you, the tools to push you to get there. And then once you identify the tools that you need, assuming everything is in place right now, right? What action you need to take using those tools and so on and so forth. And then everything that I just shared with you, take and flip it upside down, and then start with the actions that you've written down. The action was, I'm going to talk to everybody, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, do it. And then after that, you're doing those actions using those tools, the forces, right? From there, you're going to have at some point a breakthrough. That is the next step of, oh my God, something is happening. We're in the right direction, right? And then as you're doing that, you have a catalyst. You have that person or project helper or someone or tool or whatever process you utilize to actually get there. Therefore, it gets you to your value, because you're going to have some decisions, you know, take that money that I just made and invest it in my business, take that money and go on a vacation, take that money and help mom or put it in a retirement account. That's why I said you have to identify your values, and therefore it'll lead you to the ultimate dream. So, and folks, I'm just sharing with you here my takeaways, right? This is literally just my takeaways. This institute has worked with companies for 20 plus years, and they only have worked with Fortune 100 companies. So it is an honor and a privilege that I have this access to the individuals who are doing it. Some of the companies, even they worked with still, American Express, Ford, GE, and now Medallion Enterprise gets to have Six Sigma, work with us. It's absolutely incredible, and I'm honored. So I hope this information helped you out a little bit. There's a whole lot more that I'm going to be sharing with you, and if you yourself want to take these courses for yourself, just let me know. I'll get you all hooked up and taken care of. And the better part is probably like less than $20. to have these courses, while normally it's thousands upon thousands. But that's what happens when you get the hookup, right? Anyhow, please share this information if this video has helped you out, if it got you to the right mindset. And I'm curious to see if anybody dropped any comments in any way, shape, or form. Hello, Mr. Junior. Hey, Crystal, Mr. Torres. What's up, what's up, what's up? Any questions that you may have, just drop it in the comment box and I will answer you with a comment response itself. So I appreciate you all for your time. As always, Ali Madawi here with you. I will talk to you soon.